Welcome to our channel. If you're a subscriber, we hope you enjoy all the cute photos and videos that we regularly post here on YouTube and other social media platforms. So many of you write to us and ask what it is that we actually do here at Jewelspride Bengals besides play with cute kittens all day and post videos. Hi, I'm Carmen and I own and operate Jewelspride Bengals here in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. And in this video, I'm going to bring you on a little adventure to show you what a typical week looks like for us, raising and caring for our Bengal cats. If you enjoy watching today's content, let us know by liking and subscribing to our channel, and we'll do our best to make this a weekly series. Running a busy cattery like ours involves a lot of planning and organization in order to stay on top of it all. This past couple of weeks, we spent a lot of time at the vet. We had several kittens scheduled for checkups and spay-neuter surgeries, and a couple of queens that were getting close to their delivery dates, so there were a lot of trips back and forth to the vet's office this month. Every couple of weeks, I map out the coming week's appointments, setting out which kittens will be having checkups and vaccines and which ones need to be scheduled for their spays and neuters. Some weeks are busier than others. It can be a lot. So if I'm not super organized, things can quickly turn into complete chaos. In case anyone's curious, we spend between $20,000 to $30,000 at the vet each year. It's not just kitten care. Sometimes we need to take expectant queens in for pregnancy ultrasounds and x-rays, things like that. This past week we took Juno in for an ultrasound since it was her first litter, and we want to confirm that all is well, which thankfully it is. Vanya's, Nova's, and Eclipse's kittens also had to see the vet this past couple of weeks for their first sets of vaccines and checkups. And Bijou's kittens, who are a bit older now and almost ready to leave, a couple have now, but last week they were just getting ready to leave for their new homes. So they needed to go in for their spays and neuters, so vet books needed to be updated, kittens rounded up, all the colored collars put on each kitten to keep everything straight for our vet. Once that was done, we headed off to the vet with the whole car full of kittens. Everybody was so well behaved at the vet, we were in and out in a flash. I noticed the next morning after that vet trip that Uno wasn't feeling well and that poor Bijou had ruptured a mammary gland. She must have developed mastitis after weaning her kittens, and I just didn't notice for some reason. I felt so bad for her. I called the vet right away and they squeezed me in for both cats. For those of you who don't know, Uno is our blind Bengal. He had an accident when he was about 6 weeks old and fell from a really high perch on one of his cat trees. And he detached both of his retinas, causing him to become blind. Anyway, I took both of them into the vet. And a few days later, it was time to head back to the vet with Bijou's kittens again, this time for their second set of vaccines. They did really well, didn't make a peep in the car on the way there or back.
We just finished having our second set of vaccines. We did so well. Didn't even make a peep. And we're almost ready to go to our new homes in a few days now. We're all done. Good boy.
Meanwhile, Sam stayed home to work on some projects he really needed to catch up on. Mainly, he was building some new playpens for the kittens, and he also had to finish up a couple of cat post orders that needed to be ready by the time those first couple of kittens left us this week. I was originally going to order the pens off Wayfair, but when I showed Sam, he would not hear of it. Okay, to be honest, I'd already ordered them, thinking he'd be super happy that I was saving him so much work. But when he insisted on doing them himself, I had to quickly log into Wayfair and cancel the order, which thankfully I was in time for. I had my doubts he could make something quite as nice as what Wayfair had available. It looked so sleek and streamlined and not big and bulky, and I thought it would fit perfectly where I needed it in the living room by my office here, where I could keep close watch on the kittens when they were out playing. But wait until I show you how they turned out. The pens ended up taking Sam pretty much all of this last week to make, because he had to put a double coat of stain on each piece of wood after cutting and fitting each piece together to see how it would work. They're also pretty intricate. He spent a lot of time planning and designing them to fit together where he needed them to go in the house. He built each pen in sort of separate prefabricated panels that can be like put together and dismantled really easily for storage when we don't need them. In the video, you can see him putting the panels together with a battery-powered power driver with a Robertson bit. It took him probably about 5 to 10 minutes total to put all the pieces of one of the pens together and attach the top. I sped it up for the video because that's obviously a lot of construction to watch in one video. They're so finished and professional looking, and he made them 3-sided so that we can put them up against the windows, right up against the windows, so that the moms will have a view of the birds and the pond outside from the windowsill. Here's baby Xena, who's just 5 weeks old, venturing out of her box and exploring our living room for the first time, where she met our senior tabby cat, Leo. Having spent so much time on the pens this week, for me, the cat scratchers and large post we needed done for Quaid fell completely by the wayside, so all day Friday was spent completing those. We were still in the shop finishing the post, going home with Quaid well past 2 a.m. on Friday night. It turned out great though, and so did the cat scratch posts. On Saturday morning, Sam and I packed up Quinn and Quaid and their posts and cat food and headed out to drop them off with their new families. First was Quaid's drop-off, not far from us here in Langley. We dropped off the post, and his family was so excited to have him finally after waiting all this time. The next destination was the Tsawwassen Ferry Terminal to drop off Quinn with her new family. We met them just in time as they walked off the ferry so that we could pass Quinn and her things to them, and they could walk straight back onto the ferry to take it home to Victoria. Quinn has settled in nicely to her new home, and we've already received lots of updates about her. Looks like she's going to be a spoiled girl. And those are basically the highlights of what happened the past week or so. This coming week is going to be probably a lot busier, but a lot closer to home, because we have a few queens that are due with some exciting new litters arriving. So if you're interested in hearing about any of that and watching the videos that I'll be taking all week, be sure to check back in for a video update. We should be able to post it by Sunday, hopefully Monday morning at the latest. So if you're interested in that, give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel and receiving notifications so that you can keep up with what's going on here in our busy lives with these beautiful Bengal cats.